If you owned a law firm and there was a random person on the street going around saying that, oh, I work at XYZ law firm, but they know of the law, but they don't know the law, they have no credentials, and they have no relationship to your law firm, would you be happy about that? No, because they'd be out there misrepresenting your firm. If you owned a family clinic and you had a bunch of proper licensed family doctors, but then you had someone on the streets running around and saying, hey, I work at XYZ clinic, but they have no credentials, they don't know much about medicine, and they have no relationship with your clinic, would you be happy about that? No, because they're out here misrepresenting your clinic. So why do people think that when people in God's church are running around on the streets, practicing sin, living against his word, and that now being a misrepresentation of Christ, you guys where I'm going with this? Why do we think they're devout Christians? Because it doesn't make sense. Because yes, God has an abundance of grace and mercy, but that grace and mercy is not a license to continue sinning. Paul addressed this in Romans chapter 6, verse 1 through 2, where he says, what shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that grace may be increased? By no means. We are those who have died to sin. How can we live in it any longer? So it doesn't make sense how, if a random person was running around the street to claim at a law firm, but they didn't have any credentials, you'd easily say, oh, they're not a lawyer. But when a Christian, quote unquote Christian, is running around on the streets, living in the world, no fruits of the Spirit, not doing anything according to the word, no relationship with God the Father, but claims to be a Christian, we're so quick to give them that title. We're so quick to taint the representation of Jesus and God. Make it make sense to me. I never understood that. But people don't know their Bibles. They don't read their Bibles. So they're so quick to cast a stone. People think, oh, God allows anybody into heaven, or you can do whatever you want to make it to heaven. That was never the case. Paul literally says, just because we have grace does not give us a license to go and sin on anymore. He knows that we will never be able to escape sin without Jesus, and that's why Jesus had to come down. But when you have a true encounter with Christ, your mind changes. You're not going to be the same person. You actually accredit yourself with the credentials of Christ, and then you'll be able to actually go out into the world and make disciples of all nations. But until you have that relationship with the Father, you're like the random person on the street running around claiming that I work at XYZ law firm with no credentials. God bless you and Jesus loves you.